Okay, we'll go ahead and get started then. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll bring to order the Washoe County Open Space and Regional Parks Commission meeting for Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. Roll call, please. And Denise, do you want me to do the roll call or do you want to, sorry.
Yes, please, if you wouldn't mind.
No problem. Heidi Anderson. Not hearing her. Okay, I think she's absent. Doug Doolittle.
Present.
Thomas Gwen. I believe Denise is going to be absent. Darla Lee.
I'm here.
Chris Nenzel.
I'm here.
Jennifer Oliver.
Here.
And Greg Shorts. Sounds like he's also not here. Okay, he's absent. But I believe we still do have a quorum. Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. And feel free if you want to unmute yourself, we can recite this together. And I'll go ahead and lead it. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag.
The United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands. One nation
Under God.
Indivisible.
With liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3, do we have any public comments?
No, we do not.
Okay. Go ahead and move on to item 4, approval of the agenda for the Open Space and Regional Parks Commission meeting of March 2nd, 2021.
Doug Doolittle move to approve.
Jennifer Oliver, second.
Okay, perfect. Do we have any additions? Okay. Thank you for your motions. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item 5, approval of the minutes for the Open Space and Regional Parks Commission meeting of February 2nd, 2021. Any additions or corrections? Can I get a motion?
Chris Gensel move to approve.
Thank you, Chris.
Jennifer Oliver, second.
Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 6, acknowledgement and recognition of park operations staff for their outstanding service and contributions to Washoe County.
Hi, this is Eric Crump for the record. We do not have any this month.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Item 7, Eagle Scout presentation.
We do not have one this month.
Okay, thank you, Denise. All right. Item number 8, resolution of appreciation for Christy. Hold on, I have her, Christy Chakarulu, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, of Keep Truckee Meadows Beautiful for her outstanding service and contributions to Washoe County. And I will go ahead and read the resolution. Okay. Sorry, I think I have that up and it's different. Pull it up really quick. Okay. So whereas, oh, sorry, was someone saying something? No, okay. Whereas Christy Kacharulu has been the executive director of Keep Truckee Meadows Beautiful, a nonprofit organization dedicated to creating a more sustainable and beautiful region through waste reduction, education, and active community involvement since 2002. And whereas Christy has served countless hours with Washoe County, other local municipalities, and volunteers on many vital community programs such as Christmas tree recycling, the Great Community Cleanup, the Truckee River Cleanup, and the illegal dumping task force. And whereas Christy was instrumental in creating One Truckee River, a collaboration of public and private partners working together to realize a Truckee River that flows clean and clear, quenches our thirst, sustains the river's natural ecology, cultural resources and wildlife, and connects residents and visitors to unparalleled opportunities for recreation and regeneration. And whereas Christy fostered positive working relationships with private industry leaders to establish the green business community, now, therefore be it, resolved that the Open Space and Regional Parks Commission expresses its appreciation to Christy Cutcherulu for her enthusiasm and commitment to Washoe County and its residents, and wishes Christy all the best in her future endeavors. Adopted this second day of March 2021.
May I comment, or do we need a motion on this?
Feel free to comment, Doug, and then we can take our motion.
Well, first, if we need a motion on it, I'll move to approve the resolution.
This is Jennifer. I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to make a comment.
Yes, please.
Christy, are you here with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can. I'm so proud of you, Christy. I've worked with you since the day you first started with the KTMB, and you've done such a fabulous job in every aspect of your work with the county and work within the community. You've been so successful in getting the volunteers out there to do the Truckee Meadows cleanup and all the work along the Truckee River, and just fostering relationships that many people might struggle with. But you've been absolutely great to work with. It's been great knowing you. I hope you continue. And I know you're going to take a little break, but I hope you come back to the community with renewed energy and just jump back into something.
Doug, thank you so much. This means a lot to me, and I have so enjoyed working with you and everyone at Washoe County Regional Parks and Open Space. You guys are the best.
Thank you, Doug. And Christy, I didn't get to work with you personally, but the very few interactions we did have together, and just hearing everyone's pleasure to work with you. I know that you've done so much for our community, so thank you for your dedication, your commitment to keep Truckee Meadows beautiful, and I really do wish you the best of your luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Chair Chen, this is Eric Crump, if I could. Christy, I just want to thank you. It's been a true pleasure working with you. You will be sorely missed. You've done so much for this community, so much for the respective park departments in each of our agencies. And I wish you the best, and thank you for everything you've done. You're certainly leaving it a better place, for sure.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, Christy, this is Jennifer. You have definitely made a mark on this community throughout your many years, and thank you for your service.
Well, thank you, guys. I'm just overwhelmed. I really appreciate it.
And Chair Chen, is it okay if I say a few comments? Okay. For the record, Colleen Wallace, Barnum Park Operations Superintendent. Christy, just wanted everybody to know I was able to hand deliver this resolution to Christy on Friday. She had a drive-through retirement, I don't know if I would call it retirement, but farewell party. And it was nice to see her face, and just recognizing all of the work that Christy and her team has done over the years. You know, you built a much larger team than the beginning days of, I think, only 3 of you. And it was fun to work with you with just 3 of you back then, and it's certainly a pleasure now. So again, you're leaving the community in a better place than it was when you started. So thank you, Christy.
Thanks, Colleen. I really feel like that can be said for all of us. I think we've all worked so hard to make things so much better over the last couple decades. So I'm just thrilled to have been able to work with all of you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And so again, the motion passes and the resolution has been adopted for Christie. Thank you. We will go ahead and move on to item 9. Discussion and possible recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners to hold a public hearing pursuant to NRS 533-550 to approve the agreement for purchase and sale of Truckee River Water Rights Claim DTR-5058 between Washoe County and Great Basin Land and Water on behalf of the Pyramid Lake Paiute Tribe for the sale of 28.55 acre feet of water rights as the appraised value of $197,000, having made all 4 findings in accordance with the NRS, and if approved, authorize the chair to execute the associated water rights deed prior to the closing of escrow.
Good afternoon, Chair Chen and Park Commissioners. Sophia Kirschenman, Park Planner with Washoe County Planning for the record. There's no presentation for this item today, but I did want to give a brief overview of the staff report and the process that has led to the staff recommendation to sell these water rights. Washoe County Parks does not often sell water rights, but in this case, we do feel as though it is a worthy cause that would provide benefit to the parks program and to the public. To talk about this potential sale, we need to briefly review the Riverbend Boundary Line Adjustment, or BLA proposal, that has come before this commission on several occasions. So as a reminder, that BLA proposal would exchange the inland portions of the county's Riverbend property for the riverfront portions of the adjacent properties. And these parcels are located between the old US Highway 40 and the Truckee River in Verdi. And the ultimate goal of that project is to construct a trailhead and trail, and also to protect an important riparian corridor. The county's Riverbend property was originally purchased utilizing state bonding funding. And that does require that the property be maintained for recreation and natural resource purposes in perpetuity. A deed restriction was subsequently recorded on that property to ensure conformance with the state bond funds and the provisions of the state regulations in general. So as part of this boundary line adjustment process, the county and the state of Nevada have agreed to amend that agreement and essentially transfer the existing deed restriction from the county's existing property to the county's resulting property. And this is where things get a little bit complicated, but in order to amend that deed restriction and transfer properties, the conservation nonprofits in the state of Nevada must be notified, and they essentially get a first right of refusal on the property in question. So in other words, the conservation nonprofits need to be on board with the proposal, and essentially they need to disclaim their interest in the property. Upon notification of this project, staff were contacted by Great Basin Land and Water, a conservation nonprofit, and they did let us know that they have interest in the water rights that were acquired as part of the Riverbend acquisition, about 28.5 acre feet of water rights. Great Basin Land and Water's goal is to acquire Truckee River water rights to be deeded to the Pyramid Lake Paiute Tribe, and that would provide additional in-stream flows. And that benefits the Truckee River habitat, as well as the wildlife and the plants that depend on that habitat, including 2 endangered species, the kiwi and the Lahontan cutthroat trout. In order to resolve any potential claim that Great Basin Land and Water might have on those water rights, Washoe County staff, including our water rights expert, Vahid Ben-Maram, searched to identify excess water rights of a similar priority that Washoe County could potentially sell. And we were able to identify excess water rights pertinent to a property in Mogul for potential sale. And I say excess because Washoe County does hold ample water rights on this particular property and on other properties in this area that were part of the former Canapa Ranch. The remaining water rights are plenty to serve any potential future proposals or park development proposals on those properties. So in summary, staff is recommending approval of this water rights agreement for several reasons. So first, we were able to identify excess water rights. Second, the sale would resolve any potential claim that Great Basin Land and Water might have on those Riverbend water rights, so we can start to move forward on that project as well. Third, the sold water rights would be used for natural resource purposes, and that is consistent with our mission. And then finally, these water rights were appraised at the value of $197,000, and that funding could be utilized to build out additional park amenities in that park district, thereby benefiting the public. So overall, it's the opinion of staff that this would be a beneficial outcome, and staff is recommending that the park commissioners recommend approval of the water rights agreement to the Board of County Commissioners. A potential motion is located on page 4 of your staff report. And with that, I'm happy to open it up for discussion and any questions. We also have Nancy Shanahan from Great Basin Land and Water on the line, as well as Vahid Bedmaram on the line, and they are both available for questions as well.
Thank you, Sophia, for the overview and explaining that process. That was helpful. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Seeing some head nodding. So this is up for possible action. If there's no questions? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I do have a question. I'm sorry, I had it on mute. Sorry. A question regarding the water right price. Is this price consistent with water rights in that particular area or in the basin as a whole on the per acre foot cost?
I think I'm going to defer to Vahid on that question.
Hello, everyone. Vahid Behmaram, Water Rights, former Water Rights Manager for Washoe County. Yes, they were appraised at $6,700 an acre foot. These are non-permitted. They're in a decreed form. When these water rights are converted to municipal use permitted, TOMWA sells them $7,500 or so per acre foot. So this appraised value is consistent with their decreed state, and the appraised value, we felt it was appropriate.
Okay, thank you.
Great question. Thank you, Doug. Any other questions?
Quick clarification, $6,900 appraised value, not $6,700.
Thank you, Vahid. Okay. Not hearing any other questions. Do we want to, does someone want to make a motion?
This is Jennifer. I would move to recommend that the Board of County Commissioners hold a public hearing pursuant. Is this the right one? Am I reading the right one? Pursuant to NRS 533.550 to approve the agreement for purchase and sale of Truckee River water rights claim DTR-5050A between Washoe County and Great Basin Land and Water on behalf of the Pyramid Lake Paiute Tribe for the sale of 28.55 acre feet of water rights at the appraised value of $197,000. Having made all 4 findings in accordance with the NRS, and if approved, authorize the chair to execute the associated water rights deed prior to closing of escrow.
Doug Doolittle, second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you all for being here and for sharing that information. All right. We will go ahead and move on to item 10, Park of the Month. We have Dan O'Connor. He's going to do a presentation on the North Valley's Phase 5. You're kind of going in and out, Dan. I'm not sure if everyone's picking up on that as well.
Oops. Oops.
A little bit, Dan. It sounds like you're in a tin can.
Hold on.
And maybe, Dan, would it be helpful if we had Denise present the slides?
Is that any better?
Yes.
Much better.
All right. So let me work through this issue real quick and get back to the beginning of this. So for the record, my name is Dan O'Connor. I am the maintenance supervisor for the Northern Valleys, overseeing maintenance for Poweraw and Peavine districts. And I've been asked to come and do presentations for the North Valley Regional Park and Phase 5 improvements. I've been at this park for about 17 years now, and this is the opening slide here. North Valleys is about 160 acres park. 80 acres of that is maintained in hardscape and landscape. Another 16 acres of maintained common area landscape. That would be like your trees and your landscape and plant material. Basically anything that's irrigated with drip is common area, and some of the turf in between the sports fields and common areas as well. The park has a water splash pad, large community center, 2 children's playgrounds, skateboard park, 3 miles of trail system, 2 large picnic pavilions, volleyball court, and a bunch of other options that are out there. It's a pretty large park, heavily used. The slides there, that first picture in the middle, that's a picture of the main entrance over for the park. Looking like that was part of Phase 3, I believe, and I think we're going to see some changes on that. We've got a roundabout that's going to be installed for traffic control there, and that sign might end up being moved back a little bit in the future. So maybe some changes going on there. The picture in the bottom right corner, that kind of shows you the footprint of the entire park, of the 160 acres as a whole. Going to the next slide. These are our sports fields. The idea behind the presentation was a lot of people already know about this park. I wanted to kind of introduce a little bit of Phase 5, obviously, and then a little bit of the maintenance that goes on out there, just to give you some background on it. The areas in the blue there, you can see those are the current sports fields at the park. We've got the large soccer area here. We've got a multi-purpose field over here by the community center and water park. We've got our baseball diamonds here. These 2 are the original Phase 1 areas right here. Actually, Phase 2, I believe it was. Phase 1 was the community center and this field over here. This area that's highlighted in red, that was our recent Phase 5 additions. We basically put in a multi-use field, Babe Ruth field, and another Little League field. And the Little League field it's a little bit of a multi-purpose field. It's all turf. There's no infield in it. So we've been getting a lot of different utilization of that field. Some kickball games going on out there and stuff like that. Like I said, that highlighted area is Phase 5 additions. And when we were doing the Phase 5 additions, we kind of came up short on some money, and we were looking at possibly not doing the multi-purpose field there, but some planning reached out to the city of Reno and found that they had some residential tax funding in the area. And working with them, we ended up getting that multi-purpose field that we wanted. So that was a good addition and a good team relationship there. The area to the right of that open space area, we ended up doing a trailhead in there too, which I have a later slide on that we'll look at that. Basic maintenance for the fields, wanted to give you a little background on that. Right now we have 1 full-time staff member with 2 seasonal staff that come during the summer that maintain the whole park there. The fields are mowed weekly. some of the areas are mowed bi-weekly. Basically, just this large soccer field gets mowed twice a week to improve the playing condition on that field. Playing surfaces are aerated 3 times a season, as well as fertilized 3 times a season. Areas that become damaged from usage, mostly around the goals, and other areas that are wear areas, those areas are top dressed and seeded as needed. Pest control done by the staff in-house, weed control as needed, as well as vole and other pest problems that go on in the turf is done as needed. And irrigation is pretty much an everyday occurrence. We're constantly working on the irrigation, making changes, making adjustments. So that's our sports fields. Another area where we have some specialized maintenance, I just kind of wanted to point out to you guys and kind of give you a better idea of the parks, is in the play structures. We have 2 of them at North Valleys. The picture on the left shows you the play structure over by the water splash pad. That play structure is themed to match the splash pad, which is really kind of came out really nice. It's themed with aviation theme, and it has a focus on handicap usage. Both of the large structures are wheelchair accessible, and came out really nice. It's probably one of my favorite ones out of the park system right now. The one on the playground on the right is located over by the Sierra Picnic Pavilion. It's kind of centrally located right in the middle of the sports fields, and works out really nice for parents and having kids right in the middle of sports fields and being able to keep track of the little kids there at the playground while the other kids are playing sports. Some of the maintenance that takes place on them that a lot of people don't realize is the playgrounds they can be a dangerous place for kids. They require a person to be certified, CPSI certified person on staff to make the repairs and monitor them on a monthly basis. We basically have to do a written monitoring report on them monthly, and then they get daily inspections from the folks that are doing maintenance on property. Some of the problems that we have with them is if you're not careful and you don't pay attention, you can have entrapment areas on the playgrounds where kids can get stuck, and it can be a really safety hazard, a real bad safety hazard. So we have to have people on staff to take care of those and monitor those daily. Next slide was the North Valleys Water Splash Park. I think everyone's seen this for sure by now, but one of the things I wanted to highlight was the maintenance that goes on there. The splash pad is aviation themed to match the playground, has 20 different water features, 60 spray heads out there, reservable pavilions, and on-site concessions. It's won an award in 2015 for Best Aquatic site. And some of the maintenance that takes place out there, the picture on the right there that shows you the pump house that's in there, and it's a pretty technical area. Shane, our recreation coordinator right now, keeps track of what goes on in there. It requires daily inspections. There's about 11 filters in there clean every day. We monitor the pump's performance and chemical injection equipment daily. Requires hourly chemical level testing. There's a large 500-pound filter right in there that needs to be back flushed 2 to 3 times a week. The whole system ends up being winterized annually, and has UV lights in there that are used to kill bacteria throughout the system. They need to be broken down and cleaned annually. Didn't have a good picture, but on the wall to the left, there's the chemical mixing equipment is there. And Shane is our, like I said, recreation coordinator. He keeps up with this one, as well as we have another play park at Lazy 5 and the pool at Bowers. So he's a busy guy. It's not an easy area to run, and hats off to him for keeping track of it. I would be losing some sleep over making sure this thing's good every day. Looks like he's doing a great job. Our next slide, the irrigation system out at North Valleys. And this was an area where we did some improvements as well for the Phase 5 edition. The first slide up in the left-hand corner, just to give you a little background, this is a map. It basically shows the Stead water reclamation facility at the top there where the white star is. That's where we get all our water for the sports complexes from that facility there. That's treated there, and it supplies water to Sierra Sage, as well as I think it's Mayor's Park and North Valley Sports Complex, as well as some of the development now that's going in across the street from our park is utilizing their affluent water as well. The pond, that water is basically piped over to our park and fills that pond that you see in the lower left-hand corner there. And we hold the water there. And you get your two buildings to the right of that pond. That little one there is our pump house. And underneath that pump house, there's a basement. It's called a wet well. And the water goes into that wet well through a pipe in the pond and basically goes underneath the pump house. If you look to the picture to the right, bottom right corner, you'll see that that's the inside of the pump house. And these are our pumps right here. There's 1, 2, and 3, and they're pulling water from underneath that pad that they're sitting on. And if you look at this one over here that's highlighted, oops, where's my pointer? This one here, that was one of the Phase 5 additions. When we built those extra fields, we needed to utilize the irrigation system a little bit more, and it had originally been designed to take another pump and motor on. So it was time to do it. We needed more water and more irrigation capacity. So that was added for the Phase 5 addition to the park. The picture above it, you'll see two. Let me see if, no, come on, don't do that. This section right here, this was another Phase 5 addition. This was a filter assembly that we had installed. It wasn't really an addition. It was actually a replacement. We had a filter in place at the time, but it wasn't big enough to handle the new capacity that we were going to have with the addition of the pump. So we ended up putting a new filter in place, and the filter, basically the filter is to keep particulate out of the irrigation that would clog up your drip emitters and your different irrigation nozzles that are out in the field. So with the addition of those two, we went from about 400 gallons per minute to about 900 gallons per minute capacity on the pump station, which gave us the ability to water the park out, the new additional areas within one night. The way that the system works is those pumps maintain the line pressure, and we utilize a computer that runs the irrigation itself in the field. And the computer is designed to operate and maintain the flow in the system, and make sure that we have enough volume to keep adequate water in the field and spacing on our irrigation. Not a whole lot of maintenance on the pump station. It requires someone inspecting it daily and just making sure everything's running in there good and we don't have any leaks. We grease it. There's some grease points on it that happen about once every month. But during winter is when we do the big maintenance on it. The staff breaks it down, pulls out the filter, cleans it. We change oils in the motors, and if everything's going fine and we don't have any problems, it's easy throughout the season. But sometimes we do run into some problems, and that's where repairs are needed. Next slide. And I think my last one, this was another addition that we did for Phase 5 out at North Valleys. The picture on the top left, that rectangular area in the bottom right-hand corner of it is an open space area where Phase 5 additions took place. If you look at the picture below it, you'll see the fields, and then that blue line represents the trail system that was installed out at for Phase 5. It's about 3-mile progressively stacked looped mountain bike trail. It has beginner and advanced sections, and it's also utilized by hikers, runners, and equestrian use. And it's an amazing trail system. As you work your way to the right of the trail system, it's hard to tell from the photo, but it climbs right there, and it has a really good peak and some really nice rock features up there. It's beautiful. And closing the picture on the right there, that's the view from the top of the trailhead right there. It's just a beautiful view. It's nice to go up there for lunch and kind of watch what's going on down below. It's just makes you realize we live in an awesome place. And with that, I will close.
Thank you, Dan, for your presentation. It's really great to see these improvements made for the park and also learn a little bit more about the intricacies of maintaining a park of this size and its amenities. I do have a question, and not so much related to the improvement, but to North Valley.
Yes.
I know oftentimes the larger parks will sometimes have traffic counters. Does North Valley have one?
You know, it would be a better question for the ranger staff because they do monitor the traffic that comes in and out. I know that there is traffic counters. I did install some when we first were building the park. As far as the tabulation of those numbers would be a better question for ranger staff. I could get you that information if you need it, though.
And I was just curious. I know that the North Valleys is one of our more popular regional parks, so just curious what those numbers have looked like pre-COVID and now during COVID.
Well,
Okay.
I will say that there's been a large increase during the weekday usage at the park has been, I'd say probably about 50% more through the COVID, I guess you'd call it the COVID experience.
Good to hear. Good to hear people are out and about and using your parks. Perfect. And then the other question I have is about the splash pad. Have there been conversation about, I know that was closed for 2020. Is there conversation about opening that back up this summer?
Yeah, I think Colleen would be better equipped to answer that question. Colleen, is that one planned to open for the season?
For the record, Colleen Wallace-Barnum, Park Operations Superintendent, yes, we are planning to reopen our aquatics facilities for the 2021 season. So, yep, hopefully we'll be back up and running. And if you don't mind, I wanted to share something, if you guys can see this. But we won an award for the Phase 5 developments of North Valleys. And Dan, I'm thinking this belongs in your office, not mine. So I'll get it to you, but great presentation. Thank you for the details, and really nice to hear how well things are going over there.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Stephanie, if you don't mind. Dan, great job, as always. It's good to see your face. I haven't seen you in a while. So the park looks great. Last time I was out there was about a month ago, but even during the winter months, you keep it up nicely, and it always serves a useful purpose for the people out there, particularly when they're not going to school now. So great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon. I'd like to say hi.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well.
Likewise.
Any other comments or questions for Dan?
Madam Chair, my only comment was it was an excellent presentation, and it goes to show how much is below the surface of what goes on in park maintenance and operations. It's, we get to just enjoy it and go, take a nice hike and spend some time with our families. But the amount of work, maintaining maintenance, mechanical equipment to handling water rights, it's quite the breadth and depth. Thank you.
Yes, well said, Jennifer. I absolutely agree. I think I always enjoy hearing a little bit more detail about, what goes into the maintenance or what's required. And Dan, you did a great job explaining that today, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Well, thank you, Dan, for joining us. We appreciate all your efforts.
Thank you.
Okay, we will go ahead and move on to item 11, Parks Reports.
Okay, for the record, Colleen Wallace-Barnum, Park Operations Superintendent. Just looking at the highlights, just wanted to let you know we filled another position this week. We have hired Thomas Moratori. He actually was a seasonal with us as the new Park Ranger 1. He will be stationed out of Lazy 5 Regional Park, and I believe he begins on Monday, March 8th. So we'll welcome him to our full-time operations team. And seasonal positions have posted, so we will be working hard on hiring and getting our staff supplemented with our seasonal staff to manage our growing season and our much more dynamic operations during the spring, summer, and fall months. And that's really all I wanted to highlight. Does anybody have any questions on any of the reports?
Thank you, Colleen.
You bet.
Okay. Item 12, Director's Report.
Yeah, hi. For the record, Eric Crump with Washoe County's Community Services Department. Dave Solero had to step out for another meeting. So just a few highlights, some action items that we took to the Board of County Commissioners since the last time we had an Open Space and Regional Park Commission meeting. On February 9th, the board approved a really small easement to NV Energy. It's roughly 47 square feet for an anchor to a power pole that exists out in Verdi, Nevada, near the river. And it's just the anchor, not the power pole is off of our site. And then during the February 16th meeting, we accepted a couple donations. One roughly $3,300 from various businesses and organizations. And then we also accepted a larger donation in the amount of $372,800 from the Vera Silberstein Gift Trust. And it's specific to improvements for Bowers Mansion. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might all have.
Madam Chairman, Darla Lee, I have a question. Can you hear me, Eric?
Yes.
Okay. I just had a question as in regards to the Mike Mazzaretti and the first tee proposition as to when that might be on the commissioner's agenda. Do you have any word on that, how that's going?
Yes, we're preparing that. This board heard that proposal and I believe recommended to the Board of County for us, for staff to go forward to the Board of County Commissioners. Right now, I believe we're looking at the first meeting in April that they have. I think it's April 13th. That's off the top of my head, but their first meeting in April is the meeting that we're targeted to bring that proposal to the board.
Great, thank you very much.
Madam Chair, I have a question. Eric, has our town proposal gone before the Board of County Commissions for approval yet?
Great question, Commissioner Oliver. Our town proposal goes to the board next Tuesday. I believe that's the 9th.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Eric? Okay, thank you, Eric, for the updates. We'll go ahead and move on to item 13, Commissioner's comments. Hearing none and seeing some head nods. Oh, Doug, did you have anything?
Nope. No, thank you.
Okay, perfect. We'll go ahead then and move on to item 14, public comments.
We have no public comment.
Thank you, Denise. All right, item 15, adjournment. We will adjourn at 3:14 p.m. Thank you everyone for joining today. See you next month.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks all.
Thank you.